See my chiropractor. Good morning. Welcome back. It's been a while for us. This is Canada Reads American Style. I'm Tara, and I'm here with Rebecca. Good morning, Rebecca.
Morning. Sorry about that. I was making sure the background stuff wasn't going to come back and
Yeah,
reverb
yeah.
me anyway. So yeah.
And I was looking at,
Hi.
I'm like, oh, my shoulders look like wonky. I'm like, I need to get adjusted or something. I don't know. Anyways, why don't you tell us what we're discussing today? Because this is a different video for us.
Yeah. I came up with this idea and it was really funny because we sort of came up with the idea and then when we talked about it, we were like, what are we doing? And we couldn't remember. But I remembered, finally, I remembered. So the title of this is Judging a Book by Its Cover, Part One, because there hopefully will be a part two. But in part one, what we were talking about was, we always say that when we are browsing in a bookstore or in a library and you see a book with a cover that grabs your attention, we do judge books by their cover. So sometimes we don't pick up a great book because the cover's like, meh, and sometimes we pick up a great book, a great cover, and then we love the book. So that's what we're going to be showing you today. We're not necessarily going to talk about the books. We're not even highlighting the authors necessarily. We're really talking about the covers that we really loved. And in the show notes will be the names of the artists who created the images. So it's going to take me a little while to get all that information up. So the show notes won't be up there immediately, but we thought it'd be kind of fun to highlight them because also in publishing, I do know that the authors don't always have control over who creates the covers. So we think they should get a shout out for their their incredible artwork. So I'm going to go first since I think I have one more than you do. But this one, I was going to read a Willa Cather book, and when I was looking up, I wanted to buy it. And when I was looking at the different editions, this one grabbed my attention. I thought this was so beautiful. And actually, on the back, it does say the cover painting is Wind and Poppies. And I just thought that was so beautiful. I love the story, but the illustrations, that was the edition I needed to have because it was so beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I will say that when Rebecca first mentioned this topic, I was like, I'm for it. And she had to explain it to me multiple times. And I could not, I
Tell
don't
her,
know why.
no, tell them what your husband said, though. I love what your husband said.
Because I was telling him last night, I'm like, I don't know why. I'm like total brain fart every time I try and come to terms with this. And I'm like, I can't get it. And he's like, it's just book covers that you like. I'm like, yeah, that's essentially what it is. I'm like, I don't know
I
why I
love that.
had, but I do have some insight. We were just chit-chatting briefly beforehand, or even what you said in the intro, and I have insight into why I think I had trouble with this, is I don't actually
Oh,
buy books based on the cover. Like I
oh,
rarely go into a bookstore to just
no.
browse, like with no thought of what I'm buying. I go in
Yeah, you're
knowing
right.
either what I'm going to buy or looking for particular authors, right? So I that's what I zone in on and not the book cover at all. And like the book cover afterwards, I'm like, oh, this is a beautiful cover, or cover kind of sucks.
That makes sense because I'm the
Yeah.
opposite. I am a browser. I'm in the moment. I grab something. You're right. So I'm so sorry that we forced you to do this when it wasn't your thing.
It's totally fine, but I realized that's why I like had such like, hey, oh, I don't know what to do with this. But I managed to pick up books from some of my favorite covers that I have on my shelf. However, I am going to start with one book. So when Rebecca, I also had just chosen up until last night one single book. And then she texted me, she's like, I have 8 books. I'm like, 8 books? Again, because all I thought of was the one book that I've purchased because of its cover, and that is Days at the Morisaki Bookshop, which I bought last summer when I went into a bookstore when we were in Tobermory. And this cover instantly attracted my eye because it's books and a beautiful little cat. And so this is the one book on my bookshelf that I purchased only knowing based on its cover.
So
Haven't
you
read it
didn't
yet.
necessarily know the story or the author or anything like that. You just saw
No.
that cover and grabbed it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Love
there's my
it.
one based on.
I love it. This one's probably going to be a no-brainer, obviously, because I think everybody loved the illustrations.
Mm.
by Daniel Innes about Dennison Avenue. This was a Canada Reads book. And this would have, I didn't actually see it before I read it, but after I read it in an e-copy, which was not easy to read and I didn't enjoy it, I bought the book because I just think his illustrations are so amazing. They're throughout the book besides just this amazing cover as well.
Yeah, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah.
Okay, now my next one is my current poetry collection that I'm reading. And it's a weird choice because there is no artwork. I just instantly loved this book soon as I picked it up. So it is called Green by Zachary Logan, right? There's
I love
nothing
it.
to it, but I love it. So the title's in this iridescent pink. The cover is green. You flip it over, and there it's Verda in Spanish, but not iridescent. And and then
Oh,
the whole thing is linked. What I loved about it, so the poems are the ink is in green on the inside. Part two, it's split into three sections. Part one is poems. Part two are sketches from the poet's
beautiful.
sketchbook, also in green ink. And then the third part is more poems in green ink. So I just love the whole,
Yeah.
that everything is boom, tied together in that one.
That that's interesting because when I was looking up who the illustrators were of my covers, sometimes I would get confused because it would say book design.
Mm.
So that's someone who did the book design. So we'll
Yeah,
give a shout out to the person because that is actually a really brilliant idea.
yeah,
Every aspect of that book is really, really clever.
yeah, yeah.
Very cool. This one, I love indigenous art, Anishinaabe art. I actually have commissioned two pieces of artwork from an artist in, I think, I think he was in Sudbury, but he's lived in Toronto and different places. But it's the woodland style. So when I got this book, I was going to read it anyway, but that is the woodlands style art, which I love. And it's actually Christian Morriseau, and his father, Norval Morriseau, was the one of the I don't know if he was the main person that started the woodland style, but Christian did the artwork for um, Tania Talaga's book. And I love this. Love that artwork.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Another good choice.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a book that I'd already owned a copy of, but when I saw this edition, it's from 2014, I had to buy, and it is an Anna Green Gables set.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
gorgeous.
have other books. So this is an Ontario artist, Elly Mackay, and she's a diorama artist. So she does paper cutting
Yeah.
of all this artwork, puts it in like a light box, and then uses different lights. You can follow her on Instagram. She's beautiful. It's beautiful work. So she did the covers for this series of Anne, and I think Emily and a couple of other books, Ellen Montgomery books that I have. So I love her. And she now does, she illustrates children's books too.
Oh, she
Those,
should. I mean, that's
yeah,
stunning.
I mean, they're
And
beautiful.
I started following her after you showed that book one time. Yeah, she's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
So okay, so again, Tania Talaga makes my list again because, of course, this is the artwork from Kent Monkman, and it's an amazing. I mean, he's an amazing artist anyway, or maybe are an amazing artist, and I really love this, and I just think her U.S. edition just came out, and it's interesting. I like it, but I really wanted the one with the Kent Monkman painting.
Yeah. I'll have to look up
I think
the US
it
edition
I
of it.
feel like it might be the back of Tanya's head looking forward, and I feel like it's very monochromatic the color wise, and then
Hmm.
I think it's children above that. I think I can't really
Okay.
remember what's in the top image, but it's really beautiful. I mean, I
Yeah.
like that one too, but I really wanted the Canadian edition. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going with like another Anne book. So this is Anne's House of Dreams. It's got a plastic cover on it. I'd actually found this book at an antique store in Niagara on the Lake, and I picked it up because it's Anne of Green Gables, and I just love this title because it's very evocative of the time that this book was printed at, right? Not originally, but whatever edition this is. Probably like 1950s, because there is an
oh,
inscription in the front too that says to Anne from Midge. What a
I
perfect
love it.
name.
Yep.
Midge Hunter, Christmas 1959. So it's just
I
like
love
the
it.
perfect 1959
Yep.
cover. I just love it.
Yep. I love that. Well, one time I entered a drawing and I won, and the person said you could pick whatever book if it was available through, I don't know, Amazon or something, you could get the book. And it was funny too, because when I entered the contest, I was like, I don't even know which one I want. And then somebody else had this on there. I saw this randomly on Instagram and went, yes, I love this color cover.
Yeah.
It is Rebecca, which is actually the book I was named after. My mother read it, loved the book, named me Rebecca because of it. But I love it, and it's wild because there is some like the initial is raised a little bit, but I just thought this was absolutely gorgeous. It's the 80th anniversary edition of it, and I am so happy I have it. I just thought it was so beautiful.
Yeah, that is a good cover. I was thinking about
And I
that cover
won.
just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Oh,
It
really?
because I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about the book, and
Yeah.
then that cover automatically popped into my head because I'm like, that's such a good cover.
Yeah.
Nice choice. I really like your choices, by the way. Good choices.
You. Well, I am very visual, so that's why, again, mood reader. I see a great cover, I pick it up. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is just one that I did read recently, and I just love the cover. It's The
I
Queen's
agree.
Spade by Sarah Raleigh. I just really flipping love the silhouette. I love the red, and I love the flowers, the floral part of it. I
Yep.
just think it's really pretty.
Yeah.
She
I
did a good job.
almost picked that. I almost picked that book. Yep. I
Oh,
almost
did
picked
you?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, this book, I have to laugh. I have not read this book yet, but every time I'm in a bookstore and I see this book, it grabs my attention. And I finally bought it because I thought if I buy it, I will read it sooner because it's been on my TBR list for however long it's been out. And I don't know why this cover speaks to me, but I love this cover, Northwoods by Daniel Mason. And I cannot wait to read it. But like I said, every time I'm in a bookstore and I see it, I stop and I look at it. And finally, I said, just get the darn thing. So cannot wait
Me
to read
too.
it.
It stands out on the shelf. It really does.
Yeah, for some reason, and I don't even know why, because honestly, what's really weird about that panther, he doesn't even look panther-like. He looks sort of
Oh,
like humanish panther,
yeah,
kind of. So I don't
really
even know if
does.
that's what's grabbing me, because he's sitting almost like a human would sit, like with the shoulders up, and I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it keeps grabbing my attention, but it
He looks like
does.
he's judging me, actually. I really
Maybe that's why.
oh, this panther is totally judging me, Rebecca. Put him away.
Exactly.
Okay, again, my next one, not great artwork, but I just really love the design of it. And it is The Librarianist by Patrick DeWitt, just because I love the old library card system. Whatever, what's the technical name for is it just library
It was
cards?
just it was just a lot. Yeah, I don't even know what it was called specifically, but yeah, just probably library card, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I love
It's
that
just called.
system. I miss it. I miss it still having that little thing in the back of the book. And it just I love this cover.
And I'm not going to remember the title of it, but Morgan Murray wrote a book and I cannot think of the name of it. And I almost Dirty Birds. That's what it was, Dirty
Yes.
Birds. And it was funny because he had a special, and I think I got that as an ARC, I think. And then he had copies he was selling that looked like library copies, and it even has a label, like a taped label on the outside of it, on the spine. And when you open it up, that little jacket thing is in there. And I have that special edition. And again, I almost brought that one because it's not so much the cover that I loved, but I love that it just looked like a library book. And I thought
Yeah.
that was cool. So I
Yeah.
paid for that. I mean, I wanted that copy because I just thought it was so adorable. So
Yeah.
reminiscent of the old days.
It is.
Okay.
I know.
I have said I love this cover so many times. Y'all are probably sick of me saying it, but I don't care. I love this cover. Cravings by
Yeah,
Kern
that
and
is
Gilbert
tough.
Cohen. I don't know why this cover grabs my attention. I mean, it's busy, it's colorful. I don't even know if it's like because it's still modernish day,
Mhm.
but it feels like an older comic book kind of feel to it. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but
I like the cover. Are the colors? I like the
yeah,
colors of it. And I
yeah,
especially like that the blue tones are outside of the like the warmer tones are the inside where the party is happening. And where
Yeah.
she's by herself, it's all these cooler tones. I really like that too.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
really love that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good choice. Good choice.
Great.
Okay, this is my last one. Again, not beautiful art. I just love the concept of it. And it's probably my most recent purchase, actually. And it is Stephen Graham Jones, but it looks nothing
Tip
special.
it
You're
down a
like,
little bit.
oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Now I can see it
There we
perfect.
go.
Ooh.
It's called Killer on the Road. And it's also called The Babysitter Lives. It's one of the, so
Oh,
again, I just love
wow.
the concept of the book. So it's two books in one. And
Wow.
so, and the covers invert. And I mean, I would have bought this anyways. When I saw it was Stephen Graham Jones at the bookstore, I instantly picked it up. And then I happened to flip it over and went, like, it's two books. And that I love. So there we go.
I haven't seen one of those. I didn't even know they still made those where you flip them
You
over and
know?
then the book is, you know, you'd read it upside
Yeah.
down or whatever. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
Super
they still
fun.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fun. Okay, so this is our last book of the of this little video here, but I this will always be, I can't think of anything that will ever beat this out. This is my favorite cover of all time of probably my entire life. I want this as a print on my wall or a t-shirt so bad. I even told Holly this, Widow
Yeah.
Fantasies. I love this. I love the colors. I love the image. I love how sort of fuzzy it is. I love the texture of the paper that they used. Every single thing about this speaks to me.
Yeah.
And I said something to Holly one time. I said, you should make t-shirts like this, or you should
Should.
have posters. And I think there was like a poster or something. She said there was like, I think that illustrator did one for her or something like that. It was like she got something. And I'm like, man, I just really want this on a t-shirt. So,
Yeah. I'm so
oh,
glad you brought that book because as we've been talking this morning, I thought of Holly's book and I'm like, oh, I should have brought Holly's book because I love that cover. So good choice.
yeah.
Excellent choices, Rebecca.
Thank you. And you too, because I love that mine were really illustration sort of driven and yours were like book concept too. You know what I mean? You really
Mhm.
brought some really fascinating, like things I wouldn't have even thought of. So I really love that. Now, I will say we were thinking about having a part two, and it's going to basically we were going to talk about I'll give the spoiler because we may or may not do it, but I'll give the spoiler now. And
Yeah.
if we don't do it, you'll sort of figure out why we didn't do it. But we were thinking about then having books that we really loved where maybe the covers didn't really grab our attention. And it's no shade to the illustrator or book design. It's just that for some reason the book didn't speak to us, but it was a book that we really loved. And so again, with you, Tara, that might not necessarily resonate with you because again, you're not that kind of person who grabs things based on the way something looks.
Yeah.
So that's why we may or may not do it. We'll let you know in the near
I
future
can
if
do it
we do.
because I have realized in this little exercise lately something that turns me off from a book cover. Even though I don't base it, I will I sometimes will not purchase a book based on something on the cover. I've come to realize.
Is okay, that
Yeah.
might be the exact, yeah, because I do that well, I do that as well because there are times when I just won't pick it up because I'm kind
Yeah.
of turned off by it. And again,
Yeah.
honestly, everybody, authors, illustrators, book designers, publishers, I mean, no shade here, honestly, but it is true. They say we judge a book by its cover because as humans, we probably many of us judge a book by its cover. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Think so too. Short and sweet, but super fun.
All right. We'll see you next
Okay.
time.
See you later. Happy reading, everyone.